Today, we are going to talk about Flea, an animation documentary that tells a story unlike any others. The film Flea tells the story of Amin Nawabi, a refugee who escaped from Afghanistan as a child, told through animation and interviews. It's not just a story about being a refugee, it's about family, identity, and coming to terms with the past. As scholar Anak Kun writes, memory works involve a deliberate act of remembering to make sense of the past for the present. Amin's story uses this memory work to transform trauma into understanding. Most of the documentaries use real footage, but Flea tells its own story through animation. This choice does more than protect Amin's identity. It makes his memories feel alive. Animation allows us to see his fear, like the shadows in the scenes of his family's escape. Scholar Bill Nichols, a leading voice in documentary studies, says that animation in documentaries often expand the imagination of what can be shown, especially for stories that are lack visual achieves. This approach let Flea explore more emotion and more memories that go beyond simple facts. Amin's story is full of pain, fear, and survival. In Flea, these feelings are shown through animation in a way that feels deeply personal. For example, when Amin described being smuggled in a crowded truck, the visual focused on the tight, dark space and his breathing. These details help us to feel his fear. This also makes Flea more than just a recounting of events. It's a window into Amin's emotional truth. Amin's journey is not just about being a refugee. It's also about being queer. He struggles with two sides of his identity: his Afghan culture and his sexuality. In one scene, he talks about how he couldn't tell anybody about being gay because it was not accepted in his community. His story shows this process of becoming, finding a way to connect his past and his present self, despite the pressure of cultural and personal survival. The sound design in Flea helps us to understand Amin's stories just as much as the animation does. His voiceover are calm, but you can hear the emotion in his words as he talks about his past. The music is soft, emotional, but in scenes of danger, the sound becomes heavier, with noises like breathing, footsteps, or the hum of a boat motor. Sometimes there is silence, which makes us focus on the fear and the tension Amin felt. The sound connects the past and the present, making the story even more immersive. Flea is a powerful story about survival, identity, and healing. It uses animation to make Amin's memories come alive and sound to connect us to his emotions. More than just a refugee story, it's a reminder that people's struggles are complicated and deeply personal. By sharing Amin's truth, his story in Flea helps us to have a better understanding to the human side of migration and identity. Documentaries are usually expected to stick to facts, but Flea uses animation to break the rules. The mix of animation, personal interviews, and even some real footage makes the film feel like both a documentary and a personal memory. This lets Flea tells a story that are both deeply personal and universal. As we reflect on Flea, it's clear that this film is more than just one person's story. It's a call to see the humanity behind global issues like migration and displacement. It reminds us that there are people with hope, fears, and dreams at the same time. It opens a door for deeper understanding and connections. And perhaps that's the greatest power of cinema, to help us to see the world through someone else's eyes.